Captain Jake Morrison stared at the strange metal object floating in space. His ship, the Pioneer's Dream, had been exploring the outer edges of human space for 3 months. This was the first alien thing they had ever found. "What do you think it is?" asked Lisa Grant. She was the ship's navigator and had worked with Jake for 5 years. Her fingers moved across the control panel as she kept the ship steady. "I don't know," Jake said. "But it's sending out some kind of signal." Pete Collins looked up from his engineering station. He was a big man with rough hands who could fix anything on the ship. "The signal is weak, but it's definitely trying to talk to us." Amy Brooks sat at the communications desk. She was young and smart, only 25 years old. "Captain, I'm getting something. It sounds like words, but they're all mixed up." Jake moved closer to Amy's station. "Put it on speaker." The bridge filled with a crackling sound. Then came a voice, rough and broken, speaking in strange English. "Empire comes, humans die. Run now. Empire comes, humans die. Run now." The message repeated over and over. Everyone on the bridge went quiet. "Is it a joke?" Pete asked. "No," Amy said, shaking her head. "This signal is old, really old, maybe hundreds of years." Jake felt cold. "Keep recording everything. Lisa, take us closer to that object." As their ship moved nearer, they could see the object better. It was made of dark metal and covered with strange symbols. It was about the size of a car and had been floating in space for a long time. "Amy, can you clean up that signal? Make it clearer?" Jake asked. Amy worked for 20 minutes. Slowly, more words became clear. "Warning to humans. Galactic Empire marks your species. They kill all humans. 12 alien races. Many ships. You cannot fight them. Run far. Hide well. Empire comes soon." Lisa grabbed Jake's arm. "Captain, we need to get this back to Earth right away." Jake nodded. "Set course for home. Maximum speed." The trip back to Earth took 2 weeks. Jake sent the recording ahead, but he wasn't sure anyone would believe it. When they arrived, Dr. Carl Martinez was waiting for them. He was Earth's best expert on alien languages. "Jake, I've been studying your recording," Carl said as they met in the space station above Earth. "I've found more hidden messages in the signal. This is very bad news." Carl led them to his lab. On the big screen he showed them symbols and words. The message talks about something called the Galactic Empire. It's made up of 12 different alien species. They've been watching us since we started using radio signals. "Watching us? Why?" Jake asked. "According to this message, they think humans are dangerous. They call us a viral species because we spread fast and adapt quickly. They're afraid. We'll take over the galaxy." Pete laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "We can barely get to Mars without problems. How can we take over anything?" "That's what they're afraid of," Carl said. "They think we learn too fast and change too quickly. The message says they've decided to destroy us before we become too strong." Amy looked scared. "When?" "Soon. The beacon was left by someone who wanted to warn us. Maybe an alien who didn't agree with the Empire's plan." Jake felt sick. "We have to tell President Taylor." President Susan Taylor didn't believe them at first. She sat in her office in Washington and listened to their story, with doubt in her eyes. "Captain Morrison, this could be some kind of test or trick. Maybe another country is trying to scare us." "Ma'am, I've seen the object with my own eyes. Dr. Martinez has studied the signal for weeks. This is real." The president turned to Carl. "Doctor, are you certain this isn't fake?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life. The language, patterns are unlike anything human. The technology that made this beacon is far beyond what we can build." Finally, the president agreed to alert the military. Admiral Frank Hayes was put in charge of Earth's defense fleet. It wasn't much. Only 47 ships, most of them small and lightly armed. "We're not ready for a real war," Admiral Hayes told Jake privately. "Our ships are made for exploration, not fighting." "What can we do?" Jake asked. "Hope that message is wrong, or hope we have more time than we think." But they didn't have time. 3 days later, long-range sensors picked up something that made everyone's blood run cold. A huge fleet of ships was moving toward Earth. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Jake was back on his ship when the first scout ships arrived. They appeared near Pluto, moving faster than anything humans had ever built. The ships were black and silver with designs that hurt to look at. "Captain," Amy called out, her voice shaking. "We're getting a signal from the alien ships." "Put it through." This time the voice was clear and cold. It spoke perfect English. "Humans of Earth. I am Commander Zethkar of the Galactic Empire. Your species has been judged dangerous to galactic peace. You have one choice. Surrender now and accept extinction, or we will destroy you all. You have 24 hours to decide." The signal ended. Jake looked around at his crew. Lisa was pale. Pete was angry. Amy was crying quietly. "Well," Jake said, trying to sound braver than he felt, "I guess we know what we're fighting for now." Outside, their ship, more alien vessels appeared every hour. They filled the space around Earth like storm clouds before a hurricane. The warning had been right. The Empire had come, and humanity's only choice was to run or fight. But humans had never been good at running away. The alien fleet was bigger than anyone had imagined. Over 500 ships floated in space near Jupiter, each one larger than Earth's biggest warship. They moved in perfect formation, like a school of deadly fish. Colonel Danny Wright stood on the bridge of his ship, the Defiance. He was in charge of Earth's outer defense line, 12 small ships trying to protect an entire planet. His hands shook as he watched the alien fleet through the view screen. "Sir, we're getting more readings," said Lieutenant Kate Morgan, his tactical officer. She was only 28, but had the sharpest mind on the ship. "Their ships have some kind of energy shield around them, very strong." "What about weapons?" Danny asked. "Lots of them. Energy beams that could cut our ships in half." Kate looked up from her console. "But sir, there's something strange. Their hull armor looks thin, like they depend totally on those shields." Danny nodded. It wasn't much, but it was something. On Earth, the evacuation had begun. Dr. Elena Rodriguez ran through the spaceport, checking lists of people getting on the colony ships. Her husband Tony was loading the last of their belongings onto the New Horizon. "Mom, I don't want to leave," said their daughter Mia. She was 16 and had never known any home but Earth. "We have to, sweetheart," Elena said, hugging her tight, "at least until this is over." "Will we ever come back?" Elena didn't answer. She didn't know. In space, the alien commander sent another message. This time, a strange cat-like creature appeared. On the screen, it had golden fur and large green eyes. "I am Ambassador Veltar," the creature said in perfect English. "I speak for Commander Zethkar. Your time is up. What is your answer?" President Taylor's voice came over all Earth frequencies. "We will not surrender. This is our home." The cat creature looked sad. "Then you have chosen death." One of the alien ships fired a single beam of light. It hit Titan, one of Saturn's moons where humans had a mining station. In seconds, the entire station was gone. 200 people died instantly. "That was a warning," Ambassador Veltar said. "Surrender now, or your planet is next." But something had changed. Instead of fear, Danny Wright felt anger. These aliens thought humans would just give up after seeing their power. They were wrong. "All ships, listen up," Danny said over the radio to his small fleet. "They're strong, but they're not gods." Kate found something important. Their shields are powerful, but their ships are weak underneath. "What are you thinking, sir?" asked Captain Rick Barnes from the ship Courage. "Ram them. Get past their shields and hit their hulls directly." "That's suicide," said Lieutenant Julia Adams from the Lightning. "Maybe, but if we don't try, everyone dies anyway." The alien fleet began moving toward Earth. Danny's ships flew out to meet them. It looked like 12 gnats attacking a swarm of wasps. The first battle began near Jupiter. The alien ships fired their energy weapons. 2 human ships exploded immediately, but Danny had studied their attack patterns. "Now!" he shouted. The Defiance shot forward at full speed. The alien ship's shields flared as Danny's ship hit them. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Defiance broke through. Danny's ship crashed into the alien hull like a hammer hitting glass. The alien cruiser broke apart, its pieces spinning, away into space. The alien fleet stopped moving. Danny could imagine their shock. A primitive human ship had just destroyed one of their vessels. "Did you see that?" Rick Barnes shouted over the radio. It worked, but Danny's ship was badly damaged. Half his crew was dead. The Defiance was leaking air and losing power. "All ships retreat," Danny ordered. "We've learned what we needed to know." Back on Earth, Admiral Lucy Stone watched the battle reports. She was in charge of Earth's main fleet, 35 ships that were humanity's last hope. "They can be hurt," she told her officers. Wright proved that. "But we need a better plan than just ramming them." Commander Rick Barnes had an idea. "What, if we use asteroids? Accelerate them to high speed and launch them at the alien ships?" "The aliens would just shoot them down," said Lieutenant Julia Adams. "Not if we hide our ships behind them. Use the asteroids as shields until we get close." Admiral Stone smiled for the first time in days. That might work. The main battle happened 3 days later near Mars. The alien fleet had grown to over 800 ships. Earth's defenders had 35, but humans had advantages the aliens didn't expect. They knew their own solar system perfectly. They had mining equipment that could move asteroids. And they had desperation. The battle lasted 6 hours. Human ships hid behind asteroids and space debris, striking fast and running away. They used every dirty trick they could think of. Captain Tony Rodriguez flew the converted colony ship New Horizon like a fighter pilot. Even though it was never meant for combat, he rammed an alien destroyer and lived to tell about it. Lieutenant Kate Morgan, now commanding her own ship after Danny Wright died, used the gravity of Mars to slingshot around and attack from unexpected angles. When it was over, the humans had lost 22 ships, but they had destroyed over 60 alien vessels. For the first time, the Galactic Empire had been hurt by the species they came to exterminate. Commander Zethkar's angry face appeared on every human screen. His reptilian features were twisted with rage. "You fight like animals," he hissed. "No honor, no rules, just violence and chaos." "That's right," Admiral Stone replied. "And we're just getting started." The alien commander cut the signal. But Ambassador Veltar stayed on the screen a moment longer. The cat-like alien looked thoughtful, maybe even impressed. Earth had lost the first battle, but they had proven something important. Humans could fight back, and they would not go quietly into the dark. 6 months had passed since Earth fell to the aliens. The planet was now covered with strange ships and buildings, but humanity had not given up. They had scattered across space like seeds in the wind. Captain Maria Santos looked out at the stars. From her ship, the Ghost Runner. It used to carry mining equipment between planets. Now it was a weapon of war. Her crew had painted shark teeth on the front and written "Human Revenge" on the side. "Captain, we've got another supply convoy," said Bobby Chen, her engineer. He used to fix air recyclers on Mars colonies. Now he was an expert at making alien weapons work on human ships. "How many ships?" Maria asked. 5 cargo vessels and 3 escorts, said Steve Miller from the sensor station. He had been a mining boss before the war. His rough voice and scarred hands showed a life of hard work. "We can take them," said Alex Turner, the youngest crew member at only 17. He was their computer expert and could hack alien systems faster than anyone. "I've been studying their patrol patterns. They're predictable." Maria smiled. Alex reminded her of her little brother who had died when Earth was attacked. "All right, people. Let's show them what humans can do." The Ghost Runner moved quietly through space. It looked like space junk from the outside, but inside it was deadly. Maria's crew had learned to think like pirates and fight like wolves. They hit the alien convoy near a small asteroid. The attack lasted only 10 minutes. When it was over, 3 alien ships were destroyed and 2 were captured. The humans took all the supplies and disappeared back into the darkness. "Another successful hunt," Bobby said as they counted their prizes. "Look at all this alien food and equipment." The weapons are the best part, Steve said. These energy rifles are better than anything we had before. Alex was already connecting alien computers to human systems. Captain, I'm finding something interesting in their data files. The aliens are having supply problems. They can't get enough food and parts. Maria felt hope growing in her chest. Keep digging, Alex. Find out everything you can. Far away, on a hidden asteroid base, Dr. Nathan Parker worked day and night in his laboratory. He had been studying alien technology for months, trying to unlock their secrets. Grace, come look at this, he called to Dr. Grace Liu, his assistant. She had been a physics teacher before the war, but now she was learning to build weapons that could kill alien ships. What did you find? Grace asked. Their communication system. I think I know how it works. Nathan pointed to a strange device on his workbench. They use something like radio waves, but much faster. If we can copy this, we could talk to all human groups at once. Dr. Roger Kim looked up from his own work. He had escaped from an alien prison ship 3 months ago and still had scars from his time there. The aliens use this to coordinate their fleets. If humans had the same system, we could work together instead of fighting alone. Grace finished. Nathan nodded. Exactly. No more isolated attacks. We could plan real battles. The breakthrough came 2 weeks later. Nathan's team built the first human faster-than-light communication device. It was big and ugly, made from human and alien parts stuck together, but it worked. The first message went out to every human ship and base. This is Dr. Nathan Parker. Can anyone hear this? Responses came from everywhere. Maria Santos answered, from her ship. Captain Ben Carter replied from the outer rim. Even Admiral Tom Bradley, who was hiding near Alpha Centauri, sent a message. For the first time since Earth fell, humanity could talk to each other across the galaxy. The aliens were getting worried too. Supreme Commander Korethmal stood in his command center, looking at reports from across human space. He was tall and thin, with purple skin and 4 arms. His species, the Vorthak, had conquered dozens of worlds. But humans were different. The attacks are getting worse, reported his aide, a nervous creature with large eyes. They hit 17 supply convoys this week. They're learning to use our own weapons against us. How is this possible? Korethmal demanded. Humans are primitives. They barely have space travel. Sir, they adapt very quickly, faster than any species we've seen. They take our technology and make it work on their ships in days, not years. On the other side of the command center, some alien leaders were talking quietly. Council member Serendal of the Ithrani looked troubled. Her people were peaceful and had never liked this war. This is wrong, she whispered to her assistant. We came here to stop a dangerous species, but all we've done is create pirates and raiders. The Supreme Commander says humans must be destroyed completely, her assistant replied. But they're not stopping. They're getting stronger. What if we made a mistake? The conversation was interrupted by alarms. Another human attack was happening, this one bigger than any before. Admiral Tom Bradley had brought together 50 human ships for a major assault on the Proxima Centauri system. It was the largest human fleet since Earth fell. The battle was fierce. Alien ships surrounded the humans, trying to crush them with superior numbers. But the humans fought like demons. They used captured alien weapons, modified human ships, and tactics no military school had ever taught. Captain Lisa Patterson led a group of fighters through an asteroid field, using the rocks as cover. Commander Ben Carter's boarding teams captured alien vessels from the inside. Even civilian ships like the Ghost Runner fought alongside military vessels. When the smoke cleared, the aliens had lost an entire battle group, 24 ships destroyed or captured. The humans had lost only 8 ships, and they took everything useful from the alien wrecks. Supreme Commander Korethmal stared at the battle reports in disbelief. Impossible. How did primitives defeat our best ships? But the humans weren't primitives anymore. 6 months of war had changed them. They had learned to be hunters, fighters, and survivors. Most importantly, they had learned to work together. Space stations hidden in asteroid belts. Human engineers combined alien technology with human creativity. Children who should have been in school were learning to repair faster-than-light engines. Farmers were becoming starship captains. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Humanity was evolving, becoming something new and dangerous. The aliens had wanted to stop humans before they became too powerful. Instead, they had forced humanity to become exactly what they feared most. 2 years had passed since the first alien ships arrived at Earth. What started as a simple extermination had become the Empire's worst nightmare. Humans were no longer running and hiding. They were winning. Commander Ben Carter floated in zero gravity inside an alien battleship. His team, known as Carter's Wolves, had just captured another Imperial vessel. Blood floated in red drops around him, but it wasn't human blood. "Ship secured, Commander," said Holly Johnson, his demolitions expert. She used to design fireworks for Earth celebrations. Now she made bombs that could crack alien armor like eggshells. "Good work," Ben replied. He looked around at the alien bodies floating in the corridor. 2 years ago, the sight would have made him sick. Now it was just another day at work. Mike Torres, their assault specialist, kicked an alien weapon toward his commander. "These new plasma rifles are getting better. The aliens are trying to upgrade their equipment." "Too little. Too late," said Nancy Kim, who used to be a diplomat. She had learned to fight after her entire family was killed in the first attacks. "We're already 3 steps ahead of them." Ben nodded. His team had perfected the art of taking alien ships intact. They knew exactly where to place their charges, which systems to target first, and how to overcome alien security. What once seemed impossible was now routine. On the hidden research station New Darwin, Dr. Angela Foster worked with alien technology that would have amazed scientists just years before. Her laboratory was filled with glowing devices and strange metals. "Sam, come see this," she called to Dr. Sam Davis, her research partner. "I think I figured out how to combine their shield technology with our armor systems." Sam looked up from his own project. He was building new suits for human soldiers, using both alien and human materials. "Show me." Angela activated a small device. A shimmering field appeared around a piece of metal. "Their shields work by deflecting energy, but if we layer them under our solid armor, we get protection from both energy weapons and physical impacts." "Brilliant," Sam said. "Our soldiers will be nearly unstoppable." "That's the idea," Angela replied with a grim smile. "The aliens wanted to destroy us. Instead, they're making us stronger." But the war was changing the Empire too. In the Great Council chamber on the capital world, alien leaders argued about what to do next. "We have lost over 40% of our fleet," announced Supreme Commander Korethmal. His forearms gestured angrily as he spoke. 40%? Against a species that didn't even have proper starships 3 years ago. Council member Serendal of the Ythrani stood up. Her people were known for their wisdom and peaceful nature. "Perhaps it's time to consider that we made a mistake." "Mistake?" Korethmal's voice was full of rage. "We are the Galactic Empire. We do not make mistakes." "Then explain how humans are winning battles against our best commanders," said another council member. "Explain how they turn our own weapons against us." In the back of the chamber, Ambassador Veltar listened quietly. The cat-like alien had been watching humans for 2 years now. She was beginning to understand something that the others missed. After the meeting, she sent a secret message to a human contact. It was dangerous, but she had to warn them about the Empire's next plan. The message reached Jacob Wells, one of the human resistance leaders. He was hiding on a small moon, coordinating attacks across 3 star systems. "The Empire is planning something big," he told his officers. "Our source says they're bringing in their reserve fleets, everything they have." Captain Lisa Patterson leaned forward. She had become famous for her daring raids on Imperial communication centers. "How big are we talking?" 2,000 ships. They want to end this war with one massive attack." The room went quiet. Even with all their victories, humans only had about 300 ships scattered across space. "Where will they attack?" asked Commander Danny Miller, who had taken over after the original Danny Wright died. "Multiple targets at once. They want to hit every major human base simultaneously." It was a smart plan. The Empire had finally learned that humans were dangerous when they could coordinate. If they could break human communication and destroy their bases, the war would be over. But humans had learned to be smart too. "We need to hit them first," Lisa said. "Strike their communication hub at Kepler 442. If we can disrupt their coordination, their big attack will fall apart." Jacob nodded. "It's risky. That system is heavily defended." "Everything we do is risky," Lisa replied. "But if we don't try, we lose everything anyway." The attack on Kepler 442 became the turning point of the war. Lisa Patterson led 200 human ships in a coordinated assault on the Empire's most important communication center. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Human ships moved like a swarm of angry insects attacking from every direction at once. They used tactics that seemed insane, but somehow worked. Captain Maria Santos in the Ghost Runner led one group through an asteroid field, using the rocks as shields. Captain Ben Carter's boarding teams captured key stations from the inside. Even converted civilian ships fought alongside military vessels. The aliens fought back desperately. They knew how important this battle was. But their coordination was breaking down. Human jamming made it hard for their ships to talk to each other. After 8 hours of fighting, the human fleet achieved something impossible. They captured the entire Kepler 442 system, including the main communication hub. The victory sent shockwaves through the Empire. 3 other star systems fell to coordinated human attacks in the following week. Imperial forces found themselves cut off and confused, unable to coordinate their big offensive. Supreme Commander Korathmal stared at the tactical displays in disbelief. His grand plan had failed completely. Worse, humans were now capturing entire star systems. "How?" he whispered. "How did primitives become this dangerous?" Ambassador Veltar, who was secretly in the room, could have told him. Humans weren't primitives anymore. They had evolved into something new, a species that could adapt, learn, and overcome any challenge. The Empire had created exactly what they feared most, and now it might be too late to stop them. On the captured Imperial fortress world of Kepler 442b, Marine Sergeant Paul Adams and Private Rachel Torres raised the human flag for the first time. It was made from pieces of cloth salvaged from destroyed ships, but it flew proudly in the alien wind. The war was far from over, but humanity had proven something important. They could not just survive, they could win. 4 years after the first warning beacon, the galaxy was a different place. The Galactic Empire, once mighty and unstoppable, was asking for peace talks. Elder Consul Netharia of the Ythrani stepped carefully onto the human space station. She was old even by alien standards, with silver fur and wise eyes that had seen many wars. But she had never seen anything like what humans had accomplished. "Welcome aboard the Human Dawn," said President Kevin Matthews. He had taken over after President Taylor died in the bombing of Washington. The space station they stood on used to be an Imperial flagship until humans captured it 2 years ago. With the president stood Admiral Sandra Collins, who now commanded the largest human fleet in history. Her ships filled the space around the Yeo station like a metal forest. "I come with an offer of peace," Netharia said in her gentle voice. "The Empire wishes to end this conflict." President Matthews looked tired. 4 years of war had aged him beyond his years. "The Empire wanted to destroy us completely. Now you want peace because you're losing." "Yes," Netharia said simply. "That is exactly why." Her honesty surprised the humans. Most aliens they had met were full of pride and lies. Admiral Collins leaned forward. "What are you offering?" "Complete recognition of human independence. All captured human worlds returned to you. A 50-year peace treaty, and reparations for the damage we have caused. It was more than anyone had hoped for when the war began. Back then, humans just wanted to survive. Now they were being offered everything they could want." Captain Ryan Murphy listened to the peace talks from his flagship. He commanded over 400 human ships, more than Earth's entire fleet when the war started. His forces could destroy any alien fleet in the galaxy. "Sir, should we be ready for a trick?" asked his tactical officer. Ryan shook his head. Look at their ships. Half of them are damaged. They're running out of supplies and their own allies are turning against them. This isn't a trick. They're beaten. He was right. The Empire's member species were starting to rebel. Some alien worlds had declared independence. Others were secretly helping humans. The great alliance that had ruled the galaxy for centuries was falling apart. In the peace talks, Dr. Carol Jackson spoke for humanity. She had been a teacher before the war, but 4 years of fighting had made her into a skilled negotiator. We want guarantees, she said. How do we know the Empire won't attack us again in 10 years? Netharia looked sad. Because in 10 years there might not be an empire. This war has broken us. Some of our member species are already leaving. Others are talking about forming their own alliances. Good, said Admiral Collins coldly. Maybe the galaxy will be better without you. Perhaps it will, Netharia agreed. But that is not why we are here. We are here because humans have proven something we thought impossible. What's that? President Matthews asked. That a species marked for extinction can become the strongest force in the galaxy in just 4 years. The truth was shocking, but undeniable. Humans had not just survived. They had evolved into something the galaxy had never seen. In 4 short years, they had gone from helpless victims to galactic superpower. The peace treaty was signed on the station that had once been an Imperial flagship. As Dr. Carol Jackson put her name on the document, she thought about all the people who had died to reach this moment. Danny Wright, who had rammed his ship into an alien cruiser to prove they could be beaten. Elena Rodriguez, who had died evacuating civilians from Mars. Thousands of others who had given their lives so humanity could be free. They would be proud, Admiral Collins whispered, as if reading her thoughts. The signing ceremony was broadcast across human space, on hidden asteroid bases in captured alien cities, on ships scattered across the galaxy. Humans watched their representatives sign the treaty that ended the war. But the real victory celebration happened later, in a place no one expected. 10 years after the peace treaty, Dr. Mia Rodriguez Park stood in the laboratory of the first integrated human-alien research station. She was 36 now, no longer the scared teenager who had fled Earth on the buying. New horizon. The quantum resonance is stable, she told her research partner, an alien scientist named Zethtel. Ironically, he was the same species as the commander who had first threatened Earth. Excellent, Zethtel replied in accented English. This discovery could change how we understand faster-than-light travel. Working beside them were humans and aliens from a dozen different species. Former enemies had become colleagues, friends, even family in some cases. The research station orbited a star that was exactly halfway between human and alien space. It was built with technology from both civilizations, creating something neither could have achieved alone. Admiral Jake Morrison, the same captain who had first discovered the warning beacon, now commanded a joint human-alien exploration fleet. His ships carried crews from many worlds, all working together to explore the unknown regions of the galaxy. Remember when we thought the galaxy was big enough for all of us? He said to his second-in-command, an alien who had once fought against humans. Now we know it is, his friend replied. Thanks to your species teaching us that enemies can become allies. But the greatest change was not in technology or exploration. It was in how the galaxy thought about war and peace. The old empire had ruled through fear and force. The new galaxy was learning to rule through cooperation and understanding. Humans had shown that even the most hopeless situation could be turned around with enough determination and creativity. Children who had grown up during the war, both human and alien, now worked together on projects that would have been impossible before. They were building a future where no species would ever again face the choice between extinction and surrender. The galaxy had learned something important from humanity's war for survival. Sometimes the greatest victories come not from destroying your enemies, but from turning them into friends. And in the end, that might have been humanity's greatest gift to the stars. Not just the ability to fight and win, but the wisdom to know when fighting should end and friendship should begin. The warning beacon that had started it all still floated in space, now a monument to peace. Its message had been simple. Empire comes. Humans die. Run now. But humanity had written a different ending to that story. They had not run. They had not died. Instead, they had shown the galaxy that even the darkest beginning could lead to the brightest future.